Hi there, welcome back to Summer Money on the Sky News Business Channel. Very glad you could join us on this Thursday evening. Well, show your feet some love. It's the tagline of an Aussie upstart that has big plans to take the world on 1 foot at a time. Flipsters was founded by Ben Lipsitz and Rick Munitz about a year ago, and in that time the business has grown by leaps and bounds. Well, to tell us how they've done it and what the next step is, excuse all these puns, Ben and Rick join me now in the studio. Thanks so much for coming in. Good to see you both.
Thank you.
First of all, what are Flipsters? Flipsters are?
Flipsters are our own invention, I guess. They're a pair of flip-flops or thongs that fold up. They fold up to about the size of an iPhone, and women put them in their handbags, and when their high heels are sore, they take the high heels off and put the Flipsters on. All
right, so why thongs? Why women's thongs at that? I mean, what do you guys know about sore party feet?
Well, thongs are iconically Australian, and girls were currently taking out flip-flops with them, so we thought, you know, why not create a pair of collapsible flip-flops? You know, that would be perfect. At the end of the night, obviously, you want your foot to breathe, you want as much space around it as possible, and thongs are iconically Australian because they're very comfortable, and we like to be very comfortable.
And you're the design side of the team, so to speak.
Yeah.
So how was it sort of redesigning an Australian icon? You know, you have to sort of treat it with respect, don't you?
Oh yeah, a lot of respect. I knew that it was a big task to redesign the thong, and I had to get it right. I had to put in, you know, a lot of innovation and work to get it comfortable, stylish, and compact all at the same time. So, you know, I didn't give myself a time limit. I just knew, you know, at some point, you know, through the design process, I would know when it was ready. And I came up with this triangular folding design, and it worked.
And it's worked. So you're an industrial designer by trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're sort of, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're the business brains behind this sort of operation?
Yeah.
So what's your background?
I studied an arts degree, and then I went and worked for a year, and then I went and studied a law degree. Mm-hmm. And after that, about that time, as I was finishing my law degree and Rick was finishing his industrial design, we sort of had the idea and decided to go with it.
So were you friends, or you knew each other beforehand, or fate just brought you together?
No, we've been friends for years. We've been, you know, friends since we were kids, and we've travelled together, and, you know, I guess always sort of spoken about doing something, and it just happened that Flipsters kind of came at the right time.
Yeah, so you had the idea, and you knew that you wanted to create a business, work for yourselves. It's interesting, because we had somebody on the program last night, and it was the author of a book called The Profit Principle, and she was saying that the golden rule when starting up a business was not to spend money until you've made money. So what's your experience been in getting a business up and running?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that would be ideal. I think the thing about making a product is that on the plus side, it is your product. So it has a lot of potential. You know, you're the creator of it, and you can take it far and wide. But there's a lot of research, a lot of product development that needs to go in beforehand. Before you even sell one Flipster, you've got to design it. You know, we have patents pending for our product. We have a website which we need to build. Trips overseas to develop the product. So all of those cost money, and all the way along you haven't sold one pair, and then eventually you launch, and I guess you just hope that people are going to like your product, and unfortunately they have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And who did you sell your first pair to?
The first pair came from an online sale, actually.
Yeah.
So we launched the website, and someone clicked on, and it was very exciting.
And this was not somebody that you knew. It wasn't your mother or your...
Yeah.
This was a real customer.
A real customer, yeah.
So we're looking at right now some of the images that are on YouTube, the vision, I guess you could say. It's interesting because you mentioned online was your first sale, and you know, I guess this is sort of the new frontier for people in your generation. You're both 26, am I right?
Yes.
Online would have been natural, was it, for you to look to market your product?
Yeah, from the beginning we wanted to go online. You know, when we built our website, the first thing we sort of said to our web developer was make sure that we can sell these things online. Mm-hmm. We sell through retailers a lot, but the thing about online is that the word can spread so far and so wide so quickly. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we have about 2,500 Facebook fans, and that's really good for us, and we've used YouTube to our advantage to sort of video the product. It's an innovative product, and it's a little bit hard to sort of understand, well, how do you fold a flip-flop? So YouTube is really helpful in explaining that. So yeah, we're hoping to expand online, and we advertise a bit online as well. And in the future, yeah, we'll keep selling.
That's your design that you've done there. Rick, what does Volkswagen have to do with all this?
Well, when they launched the new Polo, they picked different people to represent different aspects of the car, so safety, performance, and so on. So they chose us for comfort. They believed that there was a relationship between us and them in terms of making the customer feel comfortable and innovating, of course.
Volkswagen is a pretty good association to have in your first year of business because you've only been around for 12 months, but you really have come a very long way in that time. You're already exporting internationally. How did that sort of all come about?
Yeah, almost as soon as we launched, we started getting emails coming in from people around the world saying, "What is this crazy product you crazy Aussies have invented? It looks great. Can I see it? Can I see a sample? I sell shoes in Spain, or I sell shoes in Canada. Can I get involved?" So, these are really exciting things to get in your first year, and from there you start discussions. It's a long process, but yeah, we're exporting to a few countries now, and it's great. We hope to export to many more.
Yeah, so online was sort of your initial presence. It's a shame you guys couldn't have got Oprah while she was here to wear a pair of your Flipsters, isn't it?
It's funny you say that. We were dying to get her some samples.
Did you try?
We tried. I'm not sure if she ever received them, but hopefully, if Oprah's out there, we can get her some samples one day.
I don't think she got my call either while she was in town, but anyways. How difficult has this journey been? I mean, you said that you put in, years sort of designing it, and then it's been a year to bring the business to this point.
It's been very challenging. Innovating anything is always very hard. And then sort of getting the manufacturers to understand the innovation and, because shoes, in particular thongs, have never done this particular fold before, this style. All the history on making shoes, wasn't helpful to us. We really had to start from scratch, really look, at the materials that we were using, what would work the best, how to, get the most efficient way from, combining certain materials. So it was very challenging, for us and for the manufacturers. And
where are they made? Where did you source your materials?
We try to get them made in Australia.
Yeah.
We really, we're very proud of this place. We really wanted to have it, Australian made written on the bottom. But unfortunately, the manufacturers in Australia said to us, for the price point that you want to sell them at, we really advise you to go overseas.
Okay.
So, and they said, we'll help you in that process, which was quite nice.
And ended up in China.
Yeah, we ended up in China.
Bottom line, are you making money? You don't have to tell me how much.
We are making money. I think the thing for a startup, I guess any startup, is cash flow.
Okay.
So what's really hard, again, with running a product is you've got to buy the product before you can sell it. So especially when you're manufacturing in China, they like you to buy a lot, not a little, and they push you to buy often as many as you can. So to do that requires a lot of money up front, and even as you're selling, retailers are ordering more and more, and you need to go buy that again and run the whole thing all over again. So the short answer is yes, but there's always something coming up where you kind of think, well, I've got a budget for that.
Yeah.
And then, in goes the money once again, and more stock's needed. So, yeah.
But you were prepared for this when you were setting up your business. I mean, this is all going to plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's going better than to plan so far.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's just something you've got to manage ongoing, I guess.
So what's on the agenda for 2011 though? So you've got 2010 behind you. We're looking forward to a new year. I guess you've got your sights set on overseas markets.
Yeah, I mean, Rick can talk about the design point of view, but from a business point of view, I'd love to expand overseas more and more. One country we export to at the moment is Canada, and we think that's sort of a good kind of test for the American market, which is obviously a massive market and something that we'd like to hit up. So we think, moving with that relationship, hopefully we can expand into America. But even locally, we think there's a lot of room to grow here. So selling to more people here, and again pushing online and more retailers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And design-wise, so you have to come out with a 2011 edition, do you?
Yeah. So we're looking at obviously new colours for next year, as well as a winter version. So far, our biggest enemy have been socks and tights. So when girls go out, in winter, obviously flip-flops are not ideal.
Yeah, no.
So we definitely have a winter version that's going to come out next winter. And I'm also looking at a lot of innovative accessories for girls when they go out.
So are you both, you're young entrepreneurs, you've had success in your first sort of go at it. You're not going to rest on your laurels. Do you see yourselves expanding beyond the Flipsters concept and sort of moving on? I mean, I guess you just can't rest on laurels when you're 26 years old.
Yeah, there's a lot more things to design, and in time they'll find their way.
What's your advice for any other young entrepreneurs out there who are looking to get going?
I think you just touched on one really important point just then, which is that there's two of us in the business, and we obviously both bring different skills. So I guess from an advice point of view, I think a business partnership is great, and something where one person brings the business skills and the other's a designer or a creative. You work together, and in our case, it's worked really well. And I definitely would advise anyone, if you're not brilliant at everything, then partner with someone who can sort of fill your gaps and vice versa, and you have a strong grounding to go forward from there.
Yeah, spread the risk around.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great chatting with you both. Good luck in 2011. It's always inspiring to see people going out there and doing it. So we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
They say you only need one good idea in life. I'm waiting for mine. Well, that was Ben Lipsit and Rick Muntz from Flipsters. Stay with us.